with Michelle. Such an honor and a privilege. Good morning, Michelle, and thank you for your time this morning.
Morning, Jonathan. It's a privilege to be here too. Thank you.
So, Michelle, you are the general manager of an organization called Made for More. Tell us about this organization, please.
Absolutely. So, Made for More is a not-for-profit organization, and our aim is to empower and equip people with disabilities through sport. So, we run a couple of sports programs for people with disabilities, with the intention of giving them opportunities to explore their God-given talents in ways that they may not have previously had access to. We believe that sport has the power to create what we call I can moments. So for a person with disabilities to recognize what they are capable of. So sport is just one of the tools that we use, but more importantly, we aim to invest in the heart and mind of people with disabilities. We really want them to recognize their worth, their God-given talents and abilities, and their purpose here as children of God.
That's brilliant. I love it. PBO, NPO, that is proudly saying we are children of God. We serve Jesus Christ, and we are wanting to make a difference in communities. And if you go to their website, you will see there's a beautiful picture of these kids, various ages, and some in wheelchairs, some with crutches, and then the kind of the byline or the headline, I must actually say, empowering people, discovering purpose, reaching potential. And I think that's something we all need to embrace and live by, hey?
Absolutely.
So, tell us a bit more about just some of the incredible work that's been recently done with the para-surfing champs.
Absolutely. So we had the privilege of hosting the South African para-surfing champs here in Durban. And it was an incredible testimony of God's provision in his hand. We definitely faced a fair few hiccups in KZN the past year. We had originally scheduled the contest for mid-May this year, and then KZN unfortunately got struck by the floods in the middle of April, which meant that there was a lot of sewage in our ocean and it was unsafe for swimming. So the beaches were closed, and we had to postpone our event. We just had multiple hiccups. We had sardines coming up the coast, which meant that the beaches got closed again. But we just had incredible faith in the Lord's timing, that we would be able to host the event when it needed to happen.
Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
And it is just such a beautiful, I think, community event. It's an incredible opportunity for our surfers with disabilities to compete against one another, to really kind of challenge themselves and put their best out there. But also we have an incredible team of volunteers and a beautiful community that come through to help our surfers on the beach, help them get into water. They invest in them, they encourage them. And it's just incredible to see that the exchange of experience and knowledge with such a diverse community of people. We had a beautiful team come up from the Western Cape. And it was just such a privilege to share our city with them, and their volunteers were just absolutely incredible as well.
So, Michelle, how did you get involved with this incredible organization, and what does it mean to you as a child of God to be involved with this organization?
Such a beautiful question. I would love to, if you don't mind, start by sharing a bit about how the organization was birthed right at the very beginning in 2016.
Please.
And then I'll dovetail my journey in kind of how I got to be here too. So the organization was founded on the beautiful heart of a woman called Julia van Zyl, and she was studying sports science at Stellenbosch, where she got to work with a few Paralympic athletes. And this was after she got saved and got to know Jesus and her identity as a daughter of the Lord. And while engaging with these Paralympic athletes, she just felt like, oh my goodness, these people are more whole than I am, despite having a disability or a setback, they just have such an incredible sense of identity and worth. And ever since then, she just committed to working in the disability space. She worked as a sports coordinator for a school with children with physical disabilities, where she met a young man who lost both of his legs after he got pushed in front of a train. And he was in high school and he was depressed and just felt like he was defined by his disability and didn't have much to live for. And she introduced him to hand cycling, which is an incredible sport. And through competing as a hand cyclist, he just flourished and blossomed into one of the most joyful, happiest kids she knew. And through that, Julia just felt like there has to be more. We have to reach out and impact more lives. So she founded the organization. And we started, and Made for More was started, and so it's just been growing from strength to strength. Probably our biggest program is parasurfing, but we also do exercise therapy and bocce, which is a Paralympic sport. And so this is kind of how we welcome people with disabilities, and we just show them a new skill or a new thing that they haven't necessarily been able to try. At the same time, it's just connecting with them relationally. We are intentional about doing Bible studies at schools for children with disabilities, and hosting leadership camps as well. So how I came into this organization, I am a physiotherapist by profession, and have worked in sports most of my life, but was just really, really hungry to do something a bit bigger. Instead of treating one patient at a time, I wanted to be a part of a bigger team, a bigger family, a bigger story. And Julia and I were at the same church here in Durban, and I just remember watching this incredible organization and thinking, oh my goodness, if only I could be a part of that. And I went and did a bit of volunteer work elsewhere in Africa, and when I came back, it was incredible timing. Julia was expecting her first biological baby and looking for somebody to step into the role of general manager. So it was just a real privilege to step into something that's familiar, that is supported by our incredible church. And just rings really true with my heart.
And as a believer, as a child of God, Michelle, it must be challenging at times juggling all the balls of being a general manager and doing what you need to do and making sure the funds are coming in and all those things. And then kind of making sure that you're okay, that you're living in that space where your relationship with God is growing, and that you're okay. Also, because you're hearing stories and you're seeing people that are maybe struggling because of physical restraints or mental restraints. Tell us about that.
That is an incredible question, Jonathan. Those struggles are so real. I think it's a constant reminder of grace, and that everything that we have is not by our own strength. I think human nature can very easily lead to believing that we have to fight for it all by ourselves, that we have to reach, that we have to hustle. And I think God just wants us to keep on remembering that we just have to step into the little that He calls us to do and just trust Him for the rest. And I know, I think it's funny how, the disciples so many times, a few minutes after Jesus had just performed this incredible miracle, there they were panicking and paddling and struggling. And I think it's just a constant journey of resting in the goodness of God, trusting Him, trusting that He is who He says He is, that He is the big creator of the universe, and that He loves us. He's our Father. He's not gonna He's not going to leave us or abandon us. And that gives us a lot of freedom to help and support our brothers and sisters when we recognize the need. And to also trust and know that God is holding them as much as He's holding us. So yeah, I think it's trusting God with our lives and also trusting Him with the lives of the people we work with.
It's beautiful. I love it, Michelle. I love it. Last but not least, Michelle, before I ask you to pray, I want to just ask you to speak to, because lots of people are listening to this, watching this, and many of them living in the Cape Town area. And there are various organizations that do incredible work, Raising Hope South Africa, just one of them, and others. But those people listening might need some hope and some encouragement this morning. Would you speak to us about that?
Sure, hope. we all need hope. I think this platform is beautiful, a story of hope. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a story from Made for More that will just restore hope. I think time and time again, we get faced with something that seems like a bit of an insurmountable obstacle. And we may start the day with a bit of anxiety. And I think God just asks us to be like that boy who brought his 5 fish and 3 loaves of bread, or whichever way around it was, and just bring what we can. I think we don't have the power to do everything in our own strength, but God does, and He honors that. So I think if you are needing hope today, I think just remember that God is with you, and He is present, and yeah, He's holding you.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Michelle. Would you pray? Because I know that there are those families that have got a special needs child, or somebody who's got disabilities and struggles in life. And we all have different struggles. I say that sometimes I'm disabled in the way I look at things, and I need to have my mind renewed. So would you pray for us?
Absolutely. Father, I just thank you for your incredible love that dwells into every one of us, Lord. God, we just want to look to you as our hope. God, I just want to pray for families out there in this country, God, specifically families who have a disabled family member, Lord God. I just pray that your light will shine through, God, and that we will all know that we're not alone in this, Father. I thank you that we are surrounded by community. I thank you that although we may not feel understood by society, Lord, that we are understood by you. And Lord, I just pray for a fresh revelation of our identity. And God, I just pray for this connection and community for those who are desperately longing for that support. Father, I thank you that you are that, and that you bring that along our path. It's an incredible privilege to place our faith in you.
Amen. It is an incredible privilege. Michelle, thank you so much for your time this morning. So great to catch up with you. And for those who want to find out more about Made for More, just go to their website address. It's madeformore.org.za, or you can connect with Michelle via email address info@madeformore.org.za. Michelle, to you and the rest of the team at Made for More, all of the best. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning, and God bless you guys.
Thank you, Jonathan. Have a good one.
Thank you, and happy Women's Month.
Thank you.